Hi, Maria here. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm excited to be doing a video called The 5 Things I Would Tell My Younger Self. Now, I want to say thank you to one of my wonderful subscribers that suggested this video. I really appreciate that. Not too long ago, I did a video on 5 things to think about when going gray, and I kind of wanted to do more videos like that, and she kind of gave me the push that I needed by suggesting to do this video. Primarily, I focus on fragrance, but I would like to get more into lifestyle and having videos like this as well. So if that is something that interests you and you want to see different types of content from me, please let me know. If you're just loving the fragrance and want me to keep it that way, you know, I may venture a little bit, but you know, I want to give you guys content that you appreciate and love and enjoy, that's of value to you. So you let me know what it is that you're potentially wanting to see from me, and I will try to make that happen. But before I get started, if you haven't subscribed, just go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Become part of the Weird and Wonderful family. I would love to have you join me. And yes, without further ado, let's get into this. So, 5 things I would tell my younger self. Now, I'm going to preface this by saying that I'm 51, and as a 51-year-old, I feel like I've got some things that I'd like to tell my 21-year-old self. You know, when I think about like 18 to 25, I wish I knew these things then. That said, you know, we grow. Like, life is about the journey and growing. So yeah, but these are 5 things that I think that I would tell myself that I think I wished I would have put into practice sooner. So, and also I just want to say that I, in light of eternity, am so I'm 51, that's basically a toddler, you know, in the great scheme of things. So I want to say that I am still learning. I can't wait to hear what my 71-year-old self would tell my 51-year-old self. But I also really believe that I can learn from people that are way younger than myself. I can learn from someone in their 20s. There's no one that I can't learn from. I think that's really important to recognize. We need to learn from whomever God puts in our paths. We can learn from them. And so, yeah, never stop that. So, yes, let's get started. So the first thing that I would tell my younger self is kill the accusatory lies that go on in your head. Now, maybe you don't have this issue, but I think lots of people struggle with lies, and I call them accusatory lies. So it's, who do you think you are? Or you think you're so smart. Or they could be something like, you're not worthy, you're unlovable, you're ugly, you're stupid, you can't accomplish anything, you'll never. Those kind of things, we hear them, like, so whether it is that you've heard those kind of things growing up, whether they be things that you for some reason take on from an experience that you had, it's this inner monologue that starts to occur that's so negative, and I call it accusation, because all those things do, all those lies do is cap your potential. They don't allow you to flourish and become who you're called to be. So my lie, my big lie, was, who do you think you are? And back when I was like early 20s, I ended up living in this little tiny place. It was just the teeniest place. I didn't have a TV, I didn't have a microwave, didn't want any of that kind of stuff, and I just focused on music. But I was writing quite a lot of songs, and I was practicing singing and stuff, kind of all on my own. I had had a job, all that kind of stuff. But I would go to sing a song, and I would hear this lie, who do you think you are? This accusation, who do you think you are? And it always hindered me from just belting it out and singing with guts. And I believe that that lie actually hinders us from living life with our guts, like just really living to the fullness of whatever God has for us, extracting every bit of awesomeness out of life. You can't do that if you're always believing lies like you don't deserve it. you know, who do you think you are? Like, so much is caught up in my who do you think you are? You know, whatever it is that that dialogue is for you, it hinders from really extracting the most out of our life and out of our potential. And so it wasn't until I was about 30 that I realized, okay, I've got to break off this lie. And the who do you think you are, at the very root of that was a lot of self-hatred. So yeah, just a lot of disdain and self-hatred. And the problem is that, you know, when we're kids, we're bouncy, you know, we're new, like we're newbies. And so, you know, we just kind of, there's an innocence where, you know, you almost can take on anything. But then as life happens, this dialogue changes. And so I found that instead of feeling like being optimistic about life and being excited about things, there was just this you suck mentality that had come in, and I had come into agreement with it. So I believed it. You know, I was walking in it. I actually said it to myself. And I'd look in the mirror and sometimes I'd actually go, who do you think you are? Like it became that big of a thing for me. And I hope it's not for you, but it was for me. So what I did was I decided, okay, I'm going to have 3 things that I can focus on. And those 3 things I'm going to say, whenever that lie comes into my head, I'm going to say 3 truths about myself. So I just established what those truths were about myself. And so whenever that thought came in, and a lot of times it would come in when I looked at myself in the mirror. It's just amazing how it was horrible. Anyway, you know, so the lie would come, I'd look at myself in the mirror and it'd be like, who do you think you are? Who do you think you are? And I would go, I think I am this, this, and this. So I would always battle the lie by saying the truth. And 3 things, I don't know why, but I just chose 3 things. And so I would do that. Every time the lie came into my head, I'd go, no, Maria, you are this, this, and this. And oftentimes I would say it aloud. And the reason why is because when you hear it, it's easier to get into the head. And so I would do that over and over again. And it took me about 2 years, but finally that sucker broke. And I was a lot more free to become who I was called to be, to embrace life, to be more comfortable in my own skin. All of that came as I broke off that lie. So don't believe the lies. I just want to say to you that you were meant to shine. Every one of us, God creates us to flourish. God creates us to have like purpose and destiny. And I don't know what your purpose and destiny is, but it's going to be amazing if you embrace it and go for it. Take chances. Take chances. Embrace life to the fullness. Extract everything out that you can and live life with guts. Okay, so that's number 1. The second thing I would tell myself is accept yourself. So accept your flaws and celebrate your strengths. So I find that oftentimes because of insecurity or different things that are going on in our life, we want to try, we pretend like we have it more together than we are. And I think one of the key ways to grow is to actually admit that you've got your own pile of poo that you're trying to deal with. So as soon as you can let go of trying to be perfect and can just go, yeah, I've got this I'm trying to deal with, the quicker you'll actually be able to deal with it. If you're always trying to pretend like you've got nothing to work on, you're never going to be able to work on it. So for me, for example, I struggle with pride, definitely. And as a result of struggling with pride, I have insecurity because I'm always trying to have it together. So when I was finally able to admit that I had crap that I needed to deal with, then I can deal with it. So I hope that that makes sense. The other aspect of, kind of being able to go, yeah, I've got my crap that I need to grow in, like things that I don't like about myself that legitimately need improving. When I can actually be honest enough to admit that, not only can I deal with it, but maybe I'll have a little bit more compassion towards others that have their own pile of poo. Because let's face it, we're all walking around with our own little sock of poo. It's just life. Like, we've all got flaws. So if we can go, yeah, you've got flaws, I've got flaws, let's walk in a little bit of grace and allow each other to grow, how much more nice would that be? And so, yes, I want to encourage you, younger self, to be able to admit that you've got things that you need to deal with, and then just deal with them. And don't be ashamed of the fact that you've got something wrong with you, some issue in your life, because you are human and humans have imperfections. And yeah, so don't be ashamed of that. You're just human and you can overcome anything. But the only way you're going to do it is actually to admit that there's an issue in the first place. The other thing is, don't like super focus on your issues. Love yourself. Celebrate your strengths. Yeah, we've got things that we need to deal with. We can work on ourselves all we want, but if you don't love and accept yourself with that pile of stinking poo attached to you're not going to love and accept yourself when you get your act together. Like, you need to love and accept yourself now. And so figure out how to do that. I think part of it is just surrendering and like I said, admitting that you're not perfect. Like, you're just not. You're never going to be the most perfect, but you're you and you've got so much value. So just accept yourself, cut yourself some slack, admit your crap so that you can deal with it, but really celebrate all those amazing things about who you are as well. I just definitely realized that if I don't love myself exactly where I'm at, so if I don't love this face just the way it is, if I don't love this weight just the way it is, like the Maria that's this weight, I'm not going to be able to love her when she's thinner, or when she's stronger, or when she's this, or when she's that. If I don't love me as I am, I'm not gonna love the more accomplished version of me. Like, you gotta love yourself where you're at. So yes, learn to love yourself. Learn to cut yourself some slack. The third thing kind of goes with it is that accomplishments and achievements will not make you happy. It's not gonna make you happy, girl. Like, so for instance, for me, one of the biggest things, or I can remember, like, way back, like late 20s, there was this girl that she was up on a stage, she was singing at this conference that I was at. It was just amazing. Like, I was mesmerized by her. It was so cool. And so I watched her, and she got to do lots of singing, and I was just kind of like in the background. No one even knew I sang at that point in the circle that I was in. And then eventually I ended up on that stage. And another thing that I really admired was people that could speak. I was terrified of speaking in public, like, other than hyping up a school, like, that's different, but actually bringing something and speaking in front of people, I was really, really nervous, although I really enjoyed doing it. Like, anytime I did it in high school, I really loved it, but like, it was terrifying, but it was something I wanted to do. And so I can remember, like, being at this conference, and there was this special speaker, and I remember thinking, oh, that would be so cool, I wish I could do that. And then I did it. And all these different goals that I had, I thought that they would bring me some sort of satisfaction. And when I got to that goal, yeah, it was great, but it didn't bring me any sense of happiness, like, other than a fleeting moment of victory. It's kind of empty. What I realized is that, winning or success in the normal way that the world thinks of success is never going to bring me any sort of richness or happiness in life. What true success, what true richness in life, where I feel it's found, is in things like love and gratefulness, and not being loved, but loving, like loving well, giving well, walking in gentleness and kindness and love. Those things make a life successful. Like loving my husband and my child well, loving my friends well, loving those that God puts in my path well. That brings richness to life. That brings true happiness and joy. Being thankful for what I have, where I am, who I am, all those things. Thankfulness is what will bring happiness. Don't get me wrong, I think wealth is great. I would love to be completely loaded, all these things. I'd love to have all the world's success and everything that life has to offer. I just don't believe that things like success or wealth are ever going to bring me happiness. They're things. They're just things. Winning is a fleeting moment of excitement and happiness, and then it goes. So I guess what I want more is joy. And joy is something that supersedes moments. Joy is something that's in me. And I believe it's in me because of loving well and being thankful and grateful, walking in gratefulness. So go for it. Go for life. Live life, extract everything you can out of it, go for your dreams, but you're going to find happiness in how you love and in the heart things. Happiness and richness is going to come through your heart being full, and that doesn't come from stuff. That comes from relationships and all of that. So number 4, celebrate other people's strengths. If you've laid down the need to be perfect, then you can actually see people go ahead of you. You can actually be happy for someone that succeeds, happy for someone that gets their dreams. And I think the other thing that there's a surrender that comes in celebrating others. So promoting others, believing in others, being genuinely happy for others. And also, just like with ourselves, we can focus on the flaws. There's a lot, life just gets a lot more easy to deal with if instead of focusing on everybody's negative attributes and being miserable, you actually start focusing on the positive attributes. So for instance, a spouse, our spouses, usually with the spouse, the thing that you were most attracted to in regards to your spouse is the thing that you can't stand about them once you're married to them. I don't know how that works, but it's true. And what you end up focusing on, you can focus on all the negative things, and that can actually change your view of them into this. And I don't want my view to be like this about anybody. So I want to celebrate others' victories. I want to genuinely help them get to their place, and recognize that I believe that God has something amazing for all of us. If we trust Him, He has something amazing for all of us. And I don't have to walk around going, well, what about me? I don't have to do that. I can be genuinely excited for someone else. And as if I'm genuinely excited for them, I'm not going to feel jealous of them, and I'm not going to be intimidated by them. And I found that in life, when I was, wanting something that someone else had, it was because I was really struggling with jealousy and intimidation, and to let go of that and to literally be happy for someone else's success, realizing that I'm okay in here because I'm accepting me. It just makes life so much easier. So celebrate others, celebrate their strengths. Don't focus so much on the negatives about who is in your circle. Focus on the positives. Focus on the positives, man. The last thing that I would say to my younger self is listen to other people that don't have the same viewpoint as you or worldview as you. I love listening to people that don't have the same political ideals as myself. I love listening to people that have different spiritual ideas. I think it's really beneficial to listen to other people, and maybe we could learn something. So I can remember, you know, I used to think of things very black and white. And when I kind of opened up and started to listen to other viewpoints, I started to grow, and it actually started to solidify what I actually believed myself. So I don't feel ever intimidated by hearing someone else's view. In fact, I appreciate it. I want to hear, you know, someone that believes completely different than me. I want to hear what they have to say, because not only can I learn, I can grow in empathy by listening to them. But I feel like, yeah, I feel like it really starts to help solidify what I believe myself. Is sometimes it can actually expand my view of how I think. So I think it's really important to listen to others. You know, it's easy to surround yourself by people like that are 100% the same as you. But I don't feel like we really grow that way. And I think that honestly, that's what we're seeing in society right now. I think we're stunted a little bit as a society because we don't want to hear other people's viewpoints. Like, I think it's really a mistake. So I don't need to be threatened by someone that completely disagrees with me. Like, because I'm okay with me and I'm okay with you. You know, like I can listen to it and I don't have to get mad at them. In fact, I can actually grow from it. So I would say to my younger self, listen to other people's viewpoints that are different than yours. Allow yourself to be challenged by other ways of thinking. Yeah. Ooh. Okay. I could go on and on, like I swear I could talk forever, but I'm just gonna stop there. So those are my 5 things. I hope that that's helpful. Yeah, there's so many other things that I could say to myself, like if I, you know, okay, if it's life and death, and this is what I have to tell you, is this what I wanted to tell you? I'm not sure. I think so. There's so many other things that I could tell my younger self. But yeah, what are some things that you would tell your younger self? And yeah, I would love to hear that. I think the biggest thing is view yourself a little more kinder. View yourself a little more kinder. Extract as much out of life as you can. Take chances. It's okay to fail. It's totally okay to fail. You fail forward. Keep trying. Keep going for it. Yeah, I'll stop there. So that's it for today. I hope you have an amazing week, and we'll talk to you soon.